Hello. Today's lesson is algebraic expressions, and by the end of this lesson, we will learn about algebraic terminology, the words and terms used specifically in algebra, algebraic conventions, some of the rules in algebra, and writing some algebraic expressions. How to write some algebraic expressions when we've been given some information in the form of words. All right, let's start with algebraic terminology. The first thing that we need to know is pronumeral. Pronumeral. What is a pronumeral? A pronumeral is a letter that replaces a number. So a pronumeral is a letter that replaces a number. The second thing is term, algebraic term. An algebraic term is a pronumeral multiplied by a number or another pronumeral or both, or divided by a number. For example, for example, you can have 2p. 2p means 2 times p, so you're timesing a number by a pronumeral. So this is a term. Or p divided by 5, p over 5. These are all algebraic terms. Or m divided by 6. These are all examples of a term. Or 6xy. So here actually we've got two pronumerals times by a number. So it doesn't have to be a pronumeral. So we can say pronumeral or pronumerals. So a pronumeral or a number of pronumerals times by a number or divided by a number, like xy divided by 8. These are examples of a term. Then we have the coefficient. A coefficient is a number multiplied by the pronumeral. Is a number multiplied by a pronumeral or a set of pronumerals, doesn't matter, or pronumerals. Okay, as an example, you have 5k. So k here is the pronumeral and 5 is the coefficient. Right, so in 5k, 5 is the coefficient. Or minus 2 mu in that, in minus 2 mu, minus 2 is the coefficient. Remember, you need to include the sign also. If it was negative, it is also part of the coefficient. Is the coefficient. In, say, p over 2, what's the coefficient? Here the coefficient is half. And the coefficient is half. Why? Because p on 2 is the same as half p, half times p. Okay, so what's times by p? Half. So then half is the coefficient of the pronumeral here. Okay. Now algebraic expressions. Algebraic expression is another term, another word specific to algebra. What's an algebraic expression or algebraic expressions? When you add or subtract two or more terms, two or more algebraic terms, you have an algebraic expression. For example, 2k plus 5u. This is one term, 2k is one term, 5k is another term, and we are adding them. So this is an algebraic expression. Or 2p minus 5xy plus 6u plus 10. This is again another algebraic expression with how many terms? With one term, two term, three term, and four term. So there are four terms here in that algebraic expression. The next one is the definition of a constant. It is a number in an algebraic expression without a pronumeral. Here, in this algebraic expression, 10 is a constant because like 6, we've got 6u, minus 5 has got xy, 2 has got p has got 2 or 2 has got p. So these all have got letters or pronumerals except for 10, which doesn't have any pronumeral. So that's called a constant. So in, say, 2k plus 5u minus 9, minus 9 is the constant. Again, you got to remember that you got to include the sign. It's not just 9, it is minus 9 because we have minus 9. All right, these are some terminology involving algebraic expressions. So we have covered this bit. Now we talk about algebraic conventions or rules. They are basic. You already noticed some of them, and we say that rather than writing 2 times p is written as 2p. So we tend to drop the multiplication sign, but it is always there. So you got to be careful that 2p doesn't mean 2 plus p. It means 2 times p. There is a times hidden between any number and any letter, or also between any two letters. For example, if you have 2ku means 2 times k times u. So between k and u also you have a times. So when you're writing a combination of numbers and letters like that, there is nothing in between, that means time. That's the first one. So the first one was we drop the multiplication sign. That's the first one. The second one is when you're writing like m divided by 2, you don't write it that way. That is written as a fraction. You already know that fraction means division, as m over 2. You write m over 2. Okay, so or if you have pu divided by 9, we write it as pu over 9. pu over 9. Okay, so the second convention or rule is division is written in the form of a fraction. These are conventions we follow in algebra. So we covered the second bit, which was the rules. The first one was we drop the multiplication, and the second one is division is written in the form of a fraction. Okay, now the third part is writing algebraic expressions. Writing algebraic expressions, when you write them, you basically use the same rules that use with numbers. So if they tell you, when we're writing, for example, write 2 plus 3, mathematically you write 2 plus 3. Then if they told us write e plus 3, you're going to say e plus 3, the same thing. Just you replace the 2 with e. Or when they tell you write 2 multiplied by 3, you're going to write it 2 times 3. In algebra, if instead of one of the numbers or both of them they gave us letter, we do the same. Write 2 multiplied by m. So you're going to write 2 times m. But you're right, if you thought that we shouldn't be writing times. All right? So we got to write it as 2m. Because, as we said, we tend to drop the multiplication in algebra. So we write it that way, not this way. All right, if they told us write 6 divided by 7, we write it 6 divided by 7, or 6 over 7, because fraction is the same as division. Then if they told us write p divided by 7, we are going to write it p over 7. We don't write divide, if you remember in algebra, we just use the fractional form. So p divided by 7. And these are some algebraic expressions. Here I gave you the letter in each case, like p, m, e, but sometimes you might not be given the letter or pronumeral. You can make up yours if they haven't given you any and write your expression. For example, they tell you write an expression, write an expression, for the total number of students in a school if there are um, B boys and G girls. So B is the number of boys we have. We don't know what it is, but we call it B. And G is the number of girls we have, and we don't know how many, but we know it is G. So what we are going to do here, the answer is going to be B plus G. Because say you had 150 boys and 180 girls. What you would have done, you would have added 150 and 180. You do the same here. B plus G. Or your age, as another example, is X. Your younger brother is 3 years younger than you. Write an expression for your brother's age. Say, assume your age was 18. Then your younger brother would have been 15 because 18 take away 3 is 15. Here we don't know what your age is, but whatever your age is, we need to take away 3 from that. So your answer is going to be X minus 3. Whatever your age is, take away 3. Or if they asked us to write an expression which shows the sum of your age and your brother's age. They write the sum of your age and your brother's age. Sum means add. So your age is X. So we got to add your age and your brother's age. That's your brother's age. So we add them like that. Later on, we will learn how to combine these two. But for the time being, just remember that we are adding your age and your brother's age. And your age is X and your brother's age is X minus 3. So we add them because sum means add. If they talk about difference, you know that you need to subtract. So as an example, write an expression for the difference in the number of boys B and girls G at your school. Alright, so we call the number of boys in your school B and the number of girls at your school G. So difference means subtract, so B minus G. Or if you wrote G minus B also will be correct, depending on which one is larger. If the number of girls is larger, we got to do it that way. If the number of boys is larger, we got to do it that way. That's the difference between the two. And if they haven't given you any letter, like here they have given me the letter B for the number of boys, I can choose any letter I want, but it's like more sensible to use a letter which relates to your actual term. Here we're talking about boys, so P is a proper way of calling the number of boys, and G is a proper way of calling the number of girls. Thank you very much for your attention.